This is Sage Francis from Strange Famous Records. I'm doing an interview with art.h. It's not that what we're doing is wrong. Let's try to keep this here secret between me, you, and this song. Menage a trois that sings to me.
Okay, first of all, it's nice to have you here in Belgium. The last time was 2 or 3 years ago in the festival, I think. I was there, and I wonder what took you so long. We missed you. Do you like playing here? And is the audience in Europe different than the American one?
I think I played Belgium one other time after the Door Festival.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure though. That was a really tough tour. And you're right. I haven't returned since then. That was a tough. That was in 2005.
Yeah, I think so.
We got robbed a couple times in the UK. One of the members of one of my tour mates sliced his head open at a club and had to go to the hospital. And we had a problem with the police and we got in a fight.
Rock and roll style.
It was pretty rock and roll and it was really tough. It just was like really, it took its toll on our spirit. We left Europe feeling really broken.
Okay.
And I haven't toured, I've been back a few times, but I haven't toured. This is the first tour since then, and it's just France and Belgium, and I'm with B. Dolan, who's my partner. We just put out his record on Strange Famous Records, and that's partly why I'm here, just because I wanted to bring him out and let him be exposed to the UK, to the European audience. And the audience is definitely different.
Yeah.
It's different. I mean, playing France, especially because their English isn't so good.
No.
And you can tell, because when I perform, I talk a lot.
Yeah.
And I rely on reaction from people, and when I don't get it, it makes me perform in a different kind of way. So it's cool. I adapt to it, and I make it work. But yeah, it's definitely different.
You speak of B. Dolan. Do you still like Anticon stuffs? Because you've been doing stuff for Anticon past years.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if you still like Anticon, if you could eventually do something with them in the future.
I work with their artists still. Alias in particular, he's actually doing an album with B. Dolan right now for my record label. But Anticon is a record label, and Strange Famous Records is my record label, so I don't think I'll do anything else for Anticon. Everything I do will be for my record label or Epitaph, which I have a contract with.
What would be the difference between the Anticon way of work and your label way of work? Because there are some things that's pretty the same, but the difference also.
Well, I run my record label, and that's the main difference.
Okay. Musically, I think.
Music, there's definitely a different. It's more of a hip hop base. Anticon, I think, abandoned their hip hop styles to do other stuff, which is cool. But that's my label. We focus more on hip hop and rap.
Less abstract.
It's still abstract. It's just more. It's rooted in hip hop style. Yeah, there's still some abstract stuff happening, and that's where the art comes in. That's where you can do some really interesting stuff. But I like rhymes, and I like hip hop beats, and I don't mind doing other stuff as well. But I'll always, I don't know, I get inspired by kids who can still do hip hop in a way that is fun and good.
Kind of old school abstract hip hop.
Interesting, yeah.
Okay, what are the differences between the Sage Francis from personal journals and the one I have in front of me?
Personal Journals was my first official album, and I was living a different life. I didn't really know if people were going to like it. I didn't know if there was an audience for it. I just let it all go. I just kind of like took a knife and like opened it and did this. and hoped that there would be people out there who would enjoy it or identify with it. And to this day, I mean, a lot of people, every show will talk about that album or still picking it up, you know, still buying it. And it's pretty important. It kind of kick-started everything else.
You don't do that anymore, you know, tearing yourself apart.
Yeah, I do. That was just a different time. I was living a different kind of life, and a very desperate life, a very hungry and confusing life. And I think it shows on the album.
Yeah.
Since then, I've tried other styles out. I've showed what else I can do, but there's always a vulnerability in my music. Maybe not as full as that album, but the past record I put out, Human the Death Dance, probably more personal than Personal Journals, but not as raw as Personal Journals. Style-wise, that was just a very raw album because we didn't know how to record anything, and that was the charm that came with it. I was recording, I was mixing, I was you know, I was writing on the spot, and I was recording right after I wrote stuff. So some stuff is not really solid, but it's really I think you can tell in the moment it was just a lot of energy.
Maybe the most true album I've heard, I think.
I'm really proud of that album, so I'll never say anything bad about it.
But there is changes in your music a bit. Not so much, but changes of nature. You get Epitaph right now. In the production also. So tell me about that.
Yeah, well, now that there's a budget and now that I work in an actual studio, it's possible that I think it happens with every artist that once money comes in and they're able to spend it on their music, they want a cleaner sound, they want a more professional sounding album. And I did that, and I've done that for a couple of albums now, and I'm glad I did, just to show that I can, and I think it has its own merit, it comes with its own merit, but right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to go back to just a simpler recording format, and probably I'm setting up a studio in my house right now, just a microphone.
Working.
Yeah, just doing it myself again. I'm still working with a bunch of producers, and we'll see what happens with that. I have no idea, really. I just want to rap real hard. I want to, like, put cool words together, make it sound fun, say some stuff that I believe, hope that people enjoy it, and that's all you can hope for. I mean, at this point, I'm like, I've done it. I've done what I needed to do, and now I'm kind of like just lucky to still be able to do it.
You speak about the rock side of this tour you've been doing. Some people think you kind of more rock than pro in your music now. What could you answer?
Well, it's tough to say. My older stuff, it depends how far back you go. Before Personal Journals, I had an album with a live band, and it was more of a heavy, hardcore style stuff.
Okay.
And that album was more jazzy. Then after that, I did a very hip-hop sounding album. Then there was more of maybe a rock sound in the beats, but it all depends on what music people are making available to me. And when I get enough music that I think sounds good together, I use it. There was never a conscious moment where I said I have to do the rock thing. You know, like because I like so many different kinds of music, and I want to incorporate all of it into what I do somehow at some point. And sometimes the rock happens, sometimes the jazz happens, and sometimes the spoken word, just like just poetry. Like I'll just focus on that, and it all has its good points, it all has its bad points. I'll never please everybody all at once. No matter what I do, there's going to be some section of the crowd that's like, another crowd that's like, yeah. I'm like,
that's the way it works.
I just want to have fun, man.